Hi, I'm Emily Anderson, and I am sitting here in my home office. There's not much to see. There's a couple of desks and a computer and a wall and some shelves behind me. And I'm going to walk through the syllabus with you now so we don't have to do it on the first day of class. So while I'm walking through the syllabus, I'm going to be calling out different colors. And then you're going to take a syllabus quiz, which is going to ask you all of the colors I called out in order. And so, for example, the first color, and you'll want to write this down, is yellow. And so when you click on the quiz, the syllabus quiz, it'll ask you what was the first color, and you will say yellow. Okay, and then I'm going to write down that I called out the first color. Okay, so mostly what I'm going to do is share my screen. Let me start to do that now. And let me share the whole window with you. Okay, so this is our Google Classroom course class, and you are all on this already, so you know what this looks like. If you go to the classwork tab, you'll see, hold on. You'll see course information, annotated bibliography, symposium, paper, and participation. These are the basic assignments that you're going to be doing over the course of the term. Here's the syllabus quiz that you're going to be filling out as soon as you finish watching this. And then syllabus and course information includes the syllabus, which looks like this. On the syllabus, you'll get the entire schedule of readings. So we're meeting on Zoom for the first week, as you know, at least. And then we're meeting in 312 Old Main from 1:20 to 2:30. My office hours are Tuesdays from 11 to 2, which means I'm sitting in my office hoping that you will come talk to me. I'm also very available. So if those times don't work for you, let me know and we'll find another time that does, no problem. You are welcome to call me Emily. If you can't bring yourself to do that, you can call me Professor Anderson or Dr. Anderson. Those are fine. You should know that I hate email. That's just a personal failing. You, of course, are welcome to email me if you have a detailed question or message. If you have something that you can communicate quickly, I would prefer that you send me a text message at this number, and I'll respond to that more quickly than I would respond to an email. Okay, our Zoom link is here. Please find information about the course, my policies, and specific assignments here. That will take you to this page, which is the course policies page, and it has lots of links on it. So I'm going to walk through those links with you right now. Oops. The first, or rather one of them, is about how to get the stuff we'll be reading in class. So several of these are books, and you know all of this already because I've emailed you. So you need the Mallory, the Carroll, the Rushdie, and the Amizi. You need to buy these books, which you know. You also need this piece of fan fiction by Derriere, and you can download it for an e-reader, for a Kindle, or just as a PDF. And you'll also need, we're going to play a video game, which I am not good at, but you maybe will be better. So that's the other thing that you'll need to get for the class. And then there's tons of PDFs and a few television episodes or films, and you'll want to print out the PDFs and watch the film with us as a class, the television episodes on your own. Okay. Other things about the class include electronic devices. Bring whatever you want to class. I don't care. I don't know how you take notes or process material, that's up to you. If you bring things to class, they have to be totally silent, no noises at all. If there are noises, I will embarrass you, either by forcing you to text someone or Snapchat someone or letting me see your telephone so I can play music for us from your collection. Don't do the thing where you look at social media or play games. That's ridiculous. We're not going to do that. If you need to use your telephone for some reason, sit by the door so you can step outside if you're expecting a call or a text that you are going to have to respond to right away. You should also know that when you take notes, again, I don't know how you process information or take notes, but you should know that most people take notes worse on a computer than they do longhand. So attend to this. When people take notes on a computer, they tend to write down or try to write down verbatim what people say. And when you take notes longhand, you tend to synthesize the information first and write down only what's most important. And that turns out to be a lot more useful. So consider that when you're deciding what to bring to class. Okay, next. I would suggest that you not plagiarize. That would be great. There are different ways to plagiarize. One is pretending that you wrote something that you didn't write. Don't do that. Another is paraphrasing or referring to another person's argument and not letting us know that it's another person's argument or observation, for example. And then the third is citing incorrectly, and that's a really easy one to fix. I'm less worried about that. Citing something incorrectly, that just means take notes and learn how to cite things. Pretending you wrote something that you didn't write, that means like pretending that you wrote something you didn't write. That one seems pretty clear to me also. Paraphrasing or referring are a little bit more detailed or rather nuanced. And if you want more explanations about how that might work or when to cite or examples of what paraphrasing and referring looks like, then you should read this more carefully than I'm going over it right now to make sure that you're giving credit where credit is due and that I know whose ideas you're working with and developing. Okay, next. Everything in this class is potentially difficult. We're covering many different topics. All of them are going to provoke strong reactions from you. If you have PTSD or some other disorder, you need to talk to Stephanie Grimes, who's our disability support specialist, and she and I and you can work together on ways to accommodate your specific needs or sensitivities. Other than that, you can just let me know, like if something in advance, if something is difficult for you and we can talk about it, but be advised that that is what the course will be like. Okay, I also have a different grading scale than everyone else I know. On my grading scale, an 80 to a 100% are in the A range. 60 to 80 are in the B range, etc. And this gives me it makes it much easier for me to grade things and differentiate between your work as it develops over the term. So, but Google Classroom doesn't allow me to enter grades according to the scale. So be advised that whatever Google Classroom is giving you in terms of letter grades is probably different from what I will be giving you in terms of letter grades. Okay. Another thing, we have a class list that all of you have signed on to, and please don't abuse the information here. When you are talking about drafts or organizing the symposium, you'll need to get a hold of each other, and this is how to do it. My telephone number here is different from the regular number that you might text me at. This is my real telephone number. So the previous one doesn't ring my phone or anything like that. I just can go look at it when I'm ready to get to work or online or whatever. If you need something quickly or have a problem related to the symposium or whatever, feel free to text my regular number, and I'll get that obviously as soon as you send it. Please don't share my number with other people. I only give this number to seminar students, and so you are very free to use it, but please don't spread it around. Okay, next. Oh, shoot, I've forgotten to call out colors. Okay, let's say number 2 is olive. Number 3 is teal. And number 4 is ivory. Shit. Okay. Meeting with me. I love to meet with students. I really do. Please come to my office hours. I really want to see you there. I can also meet with you whenever, as I said before. So let me know and we'll set up an appointment. If you set up an appointment with me, and I didn't open this in advance, so we'll see what happens. You will go to the link on this page, or it's on the syllabus itself actually, and sign up for an appointment on, okay, this is gonna not show me when they are. Sign up for an appointment on the calendar that'll then automatically get transferred to my calendar. You don't need an appointment to meet with me during office hours, but if you have an appointment, you'll get like priority or whatever before, if there's a line waiting, or if you are going to be a couple of minutes late, I'll know to wait for you, things like that. So sign up for an appointment if you can. If you decide to meet with me at the last minute, you're welcome to drop by. If you want to meet with me at any other time, just let me know and we'll work it out. Just text me or grab me after class, for example. Okay, let's say the next color is lime. Okay. You have many assignments this term, as I know you know. One of them is an annotated bibliography. The annotated bibliography is one of the most important assignments. Well, I guess they're all important over the term that you're going to do. And it's important for you. And it's also important for the whole entire class, because what I'm asking everyone to do is a bunch of research over the course of the term. And the research that you do, you might use, but other people might use also. And the annotated bibliography is going to be, I'm not the audience for that, and you're not the audience for that. The audience for that is everyone else in the class. Okay, let's say, so I can now get through these, that the 6th color is azure. So an annotated bibliography means that throughout the whole term, we're not doing reading responses, we're not doing discussion questions, we're not doing daily work. I know you're doing the reading, and we're going to talk about the reading in class. What I need you to be doing outside of class is looking at secondary criticism. And what that means specifically is looking at things we're reading that are on the syllabus, looking those things up, probably starting with the MLA bibliography, and figuring out what other people have written about these topics. So for example, we're starting with post-structuralism, but our first primary text is the Mallory, The Death of Arthur. And you might want to look up what people have said about that. And that might be something you want to write about, or it might not, but other people might want to write about it. So you're going to find articles about the Mallory and read these articles, make them available to the class, and summarize the argument in the article, and then evaluate the article. And that summary and evaluation will also be available to the class. So at the end of the reading part, when people are starting to work on symposium papers, we'll have a really big bibliography of your entry on the Mallory and everyone else's entry on the Mallory, so that someone who wants to write on the Mallory already has 5, 10, 20 sources summarized and evaluated that might be available to the person. Okay, so the whole assignment is here, the actual requirements, the sources that you want to be looking for and using, what the annotations, the citation, the summary, the evaluation should look like, and then how I'm grading them. That's all listed here, as is down here a couple of examples, so you can see how people have done this in the past. Or you could if my computer weren't frozen. Here we go. Okay, so a couple of examples of what entries look like. At the very top of this page, there are a bunch of links. The first one is for claiming a source, and this is really important. When you find a source in the MLA bibliography or whatever, you need to tell people you're working on it. What we don't want is for multiple people to be annotating the same source. We want one annotation per source. Okay, here we go. The next color is gray. So if I choose an article to annotate, I don't want someone else to be annotating the same one. You need to tell people what you're annotating before you start working on it, so that other people can choose other articles. So click on this link and it will take you to a form that lets you enter information about what you're working on. Before you start annotating something or claiming it for yourself, you'll need to look at what other people have already claimed. So there's another link for looking. In fact, these should be reversed. First, you should look, then you should claim. And then when you're ready, you submit your entry here, which will include the citation, some keywords, the summary and the evaluation. And then you'll be able to see what everyone has submitted in another spreadsheet. I'm going to give you a much easier to read hard copy in class, but in the meantime, you can look at the spreadsheet. There's also a Google Drive folder for uploading PDFs of the texts. All of this is explained very thoroughly in the however many 7 pages of this assignment. I'm going to consider this assigned and mention it briefly in class as deadlines occur. If you have questions about it, please ask me right away, because you'll need to start right away. So if you don't know what the MLA bibliography is, for example, let me know right now. Just send me a text message saying, I don't know what the MLA bibliography is. Or if you're not sure what things you should be searching, let me know right away, and I will give you some keywords or walk you through it. You kind of need to start doing this the first week of class. So I am eager to help you get started, but I need to know that you want instruction. I'm not going to do a whole 2 days in class on how to make this work. Okay, so the next color, 8, is orange. Okay, the next thing that you're doing, this is very exciting, is the symposium. Symposium is fun and cool. You will love it. You're going to give a paper that lasts 8 minutes, 10 minutes, and then answer questions about your paper. And it's really not more complicated than that. Everyone's really nervous about it. Of course, speaking in public is nerve-wracking. Of course, answering questions from faculty members is nerve-wracking. Of course. You'll also have so much preparation for the symposium that probably you will just feel happy and proud of yourself and relieved during the actual thing. So I find it one of the most exciting things that we do over the term. Okay, first of all, you're going to organize, publicize, and run the symposium by yourselves. There are a lot of instructions for doing that, but know that one of the side projects will be maybe you'll be a publicity person or a food person, whatever. We're going to have a conference before your symposium. You're going to write a working draft. You're going to write a draft of the paper. And then you're going to have the actual symposium paper and the actual symposium. There are a lot of details on here if you follow all of these links for what these are meant to look like. I don't remember offhand the dates for the symposium, but put them in your calendar. There's 2 different dates, and you have to be there the whole time for both days, of course. And yeah, look at the syllabus and figure out when they are. Okay, so for colors, number 9 is maroon. Okay. Next, the next assignment is the final paper. The final paper is actually not nearly as scary as you might think, because we're going to be doing a lot of work preparing for the symposium and then a lot of work preparing the final paper draft. So by the time you get to the final paper, you will have so much prepared already that it shouldn't be overwhelming. It will be a paper that is between 18 and 20 pages long-ish. And it will include research from the annotated bibliography or other things that you've just found on your own, but probably stuff from the annotated bibliography. And it'll be about 1, maybe 2 of the books that we read or things we talked about. It'll be graded according to the grading criteria, which I'll show you in just a second. Again, we'll have a conference, you'll write a draft, we'll have a workshop. You'll submit the final paper. The final paper is due pretty much the last possible second of the term. So you'll have as many days as I can give you to finish it. And obviously, I'll be very available for conferences, etc. Here are the criteria, which I will show you again right now. And let's say, so I can get through them all, that the next color is green. Okay, the grading criteria are for papers. And these 2 are on a 100-point scale. The most important thing when you're writing a paper is the argument. I don't know what it would mean to write a good paper without a good argument. I don't think that works. So it's worth 35 points, but also kind of like the potential of the entire paper is determined by the argument. And then the analysis of evidence and the organization, those are about the same. One involves close readings, analyzing the material, but also analyzing the theory and criticism that you're working with. Organization means on a paragraph level, but also on a paper level, sort of walking me through the argument in the most persuasive and sophisticated way. Clarity and style, please be clear. And mechanics. We'll talk about these more when we talk about draft workshops. Okay, next. Final grades. Let me give you another color here. So the last one was green. The next one is going to be coral. Final grades are based on the following breakdown of points. Your annotated bibliography is 25, the symposium is 25, the paper is 35, and participation is 15. That means that it's spread out over all of the assignments. It's hard to get a bad grade in the course unless you do really badly on all the things, which of course you won't do. So no problem. Participation, I should have mentioned earlier, and I didn't. Let me go back and see if I can pull it up. Participation is, on the one hand, a really easy sort of assignment, just participate in class, but I mean something slightly more specific than that. So it would have been called your citizenship grade. Do the work, listen, ask questions, laugh at my jokes. Okay. Make it easier for me to be in front of the room and easier for the people around you to be in the classroom. So respect that everyone is an adult human person with agency. No doubt that phrase will come up during class. I use it all the time, even though it's weird. Learn people's names. I am terrible with names. It will take me ages. Be thoughtful, converse, talk, not too much. Please raise your hand. I know it's a little weird when you get to upper division courses to raise your hands, but I like to be able to make sure that students who talk a little less often get a chance to talk, even if those students don't always jump in first. And I also love awkward silences. So it's important to me that I can make sure the room is silent for an uncomfortable amount of time to get people to speak who normally wouldn't jump in. Please speak in class. If that's hard for you, let me know in advance. We can work on how to make it easier for you, or I can decide maybe to put people in groups sometimes so that you would have an easier time speaking in groups if that were possible or true. Like I can work with that as long as I know in advance. Please don't be the only person who's talking. Again, pretend to be interested even when you're not and laugh at my jokes. Okay, the next color is red. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so next, one of the things on one of the links that you've seen already is to the reading syllabus, which looks like this. It's our syllabus for the readings, and it has a lot of annotations on here, notes about how and what you should read, in what order, look at, why, etc. I sort of assume that you've all gone through this already, but I'm pointing it out to you in case you didn't. So again, tons of notes. Okay. And then when we get back to the syllabus, here we are. we can see, okay, again, office hours, this is my like school text message number that I'll look at when I get on my computer and I'm ready to work. But you have my real number also. Our Zoom link, okay, which we'll need at least for the first week of class. Policies and everything else, that's what we just did. Information about meeting with me, we did that too. That's the link to the calendar that you would sign up at. And then the actual readings and deadlines look like this. Okay, so today's whatever day it is. Before class begins, you need to review the reading syllabus. That's the one with all of the notes on it that I already sent you a week or two ago. Take the syllabus quiz under classwork. That's the thing that has all of the colors that I'm shouting out at you now. Speaking of which, let's make number 13 plum. Okay. Introduce yourself on Flipgrid, please. This is what we're doing. Well, whatever, we're doing this. So it's the link will tell you what to do. Basically, you talk for 2 minutes about yourself. It's fine. You get to use GIFs and stickers. Okay, the Saussure. I don't care whether you read this or reread it. You do need to understand what he means about signs, signifiers, and signifieds. You also need to understand what he means by synchronic and diachronic. You will, I hope, from English 200, remember a lot of this stuff once you go back and relook at the essay. Independent of whether you remember it, the mini lecture on structuralism right here and on Saussure right here will give you the information you need. And you want to read, look at, watch, listen to those things before class starts, because on the 3rd, we're going to talk about Derrida. And talking about the Derrida assumes that you understand already the Saussure. Now, I hope also that you remember the Derrida from English 200. If you don't, that's fine. If you do, great. This PDF here of the Derrida and this PDF here of the Saussure, those are of a different version of the anthology that I use in English 200, but if you have the English 200 anthology, just use that. Okay, read, structure, sign, and play. We're going to talk about it on the 3rd. And whether you understand it or don't understand it or find it insane, all of those would be reasonable responses. Please look at the little mini lecture on post-structuralism and on Derrida before class, especially if you've just looked at the mini lectures on structuralism and Saussure. That will give you a really good idea of what we mean by play and what we're going to be looking at through the course of the term. So play, like playing games, but play can mean many different things. So opening up that whole concept of play is going to start by thinking about post-structuralism and specifically Derrida. Okay, so Roland Barthes, Stefan Barthes. There's another essay that's recommended that we're going to talk about some, but not focus on. Okay, the rest of this is just the syllabus, all of which you are familiar with from looking at the reading syllabus. Is there anything else I need to show you? Just that this Caxton event on the 4th, this is not related to our class, but I'm asking you to go and it will count for participation points. Notice that some of these days, so the reading stops, well, the game playing stops on February 11th. And then after this, these are all assignments, things we're doing in class. Those link to many of the assignment pages I already showed you. We're having conferences on a Saturday. We're having a rehearsal on a Friday night. We're having the symposium from 4 to 6 on the 28th and the 1st. We're having more conferences on the 2nd outside of class. So there are times that you'll need to get on your calendar. And then the final paper is due the last day of the term on the 13th at 4 p.m. Okay, the last color is going to be blue. Okay, I think I have walked through all of the things that I would be doing on the first day of class that I typically find very boring and mildly annoying to go over on the first day of class because suddenly I have people in a room and I want to talk about actual things. So I have two things to ask of you. One is that if you have any questions about anything I've said, obviously we're not in person right now, please let me know. Just text me and let me know you were unclear. I didn't understand this. I still have a question. That would be great. And then the second thing is that I think I've been very careful about making sure that all of the links on Google Classroom work. If you find anything, any link, any form, any document that doesn't look right, please let me know as soon as possible. I would really appreciate that. Sometimes it's hard for me to tell whether things are shared with everybody or just with a few people since I'm already logged in. I would really like that. Okay, I'm super excited and I'll see you soon. And that's it. Bye.